This one tiny practice could, silently and unknowingly, increase your risk of stroke while you sleep, especially if you're over 60. No warning, no discomfort. Just one quiet moment, everything seems fine. You feel all right. Then suddenly, you lose your balance, your words slur. You can't lift your arm. You try to speak, but your voice stumbles. And before you even understand what's happening, everything begins to change. As a brain physician, someone who has seen the inside of this tragic story far too often, I can tell you with certainty, these moments don't always come from smoking, poor eating, or not exercising. In many cases, they've come from something people thought was helping them. Vitamins. Yes, vitamins. That's the shocking part. Millions of older adults across the country pop their daily supplements with coffee or juice, believing they're doing something good, protecting memory, energizing their body, or strengthening their bones. Some of those vitamins are helpful, but others taken in the wrong way, at the wrong dose, or combined with common medications, can become dangerous. Silently dangerous. Today, I want to open your eyes to 5 common vitamins that can, when misused or misunderstood, increase your risk of a stroke, blood pressure spikes, or even a brain hemorrhage, especially during your most vulnerable hours of the day. Early morning, when your brain and body are at their most fragile state, if you've ever taken niacin, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B6, or vitamin A. You'll want to hear this. What you learn today could quite literally save your life for the life of someone you love. Before we begin, I want to ask you something. Have you ever wondered if vitamins, something as innocent as that, could actually harm you? If you've ever had that thought, type the number 1 in the comments. If this is new information for you, type 0. I want to hear from you, and please, like this video if you care about brain health, if you or someone you love is over 60 and wants to live stronger and safer for longer. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health for more real, taste, and compassionate guidance made just for you. Let's begin with the most unexpected one of all, vitamin D. This vitamin, often praised as the hero for immunity, mood, and strong bones, has a dark side you may not know about, especially if you take it before bed. You've likely heard all the good about it. It strengthens the immune system, boosts mood, supports bone density, and in moderate doses, all of that is true. But what most seniors are never told is this: taking too much vitamin D, or taking it at the wrong time, can increase your risk of stroke while you sleep. I want to tell you about a man named Mr. Walter, 74-year-old retired Navy veteran, a man of discipline, polite, precise, and deeply concerned about his health. Every morning, without fail, he laid out his daily vitamins. Among them, a 10,000 IU capsule of vitamin D bought over the counter, no prescription. He took it thinking he was doing the right thing, keeping his bones healthy and strong. But he didn't know what was really happening inside his body. One morning, his wife found him confused. His speech was slurred. His right arm hung uselessly at his side. A stroke. Overnight, no warning signs. No pain the night before. His blood pressure was unstable, and the tests showed something alarming. High calcium levels, stiff arteries. The stroke didn't come from high cholesterol or clogged arteries, but from something most would never suspect. Vitamin D. Toxicity. Here's what you need to understand. When you take large doses of vitamin D, especially without blood tests or medical guidance, it causes calcium to build up in your bloodstream. Your body, confused and overwhelmed, doesn't know where to store all that extra calcium, so it begins depositing it in your arteries. The result? Your blood vessels, already less flexible from aging, become even stiffer, narrower, prone to clot. And when that clot travels to your brain, a stroke is waiting. Now imagine this. At night, while you're resting, your hydration is lower. Your blood pressure can fluctuate. Your arteries are already at their weakest. Add a spike in calcium and stiffened blood flow, and you've created the perfect storm, the most terrifying part. You go to bed feeling fine, no red flags. You wake up, and your life is never the same. In the US, countless over-the-counter vitamin D supplements are sold at 5,000 or even 10,000 IU per pill. That's far more than most older adults need. Even if you're slightly deficient, studies show that anything above 2,000 IU per day should only be taken with careful monitoring. And yet people take these doses every single day without knowing what's building up inside them. Here's my advice to you. If you take vitamin D, always take it in the morning, not before sleep. And please, get your blood levels checked regularly, especially if you're also taking calcium, heart medications, or blood pressure pills. Are you aware of how many IOS are in your vitamin D supplement? If you know, type the letter D in the comments. Let's start a real conversation, because this information could help someone out there avoid tragedy. If you currently take vitamin D, and this made you pause, please like this video. Your action can help this message reach more people who need to hear it. Now, if that caught you off guard, brace yourself, because the next vitamin 1, commonly taken for heart health, can lead to something even more devastating than a blood clot, something no one expects, a brain hemorrhage. Let's talk about vitamin E. It's often called the heart helper. Many seniors have taken it for years, maybe even decades, because they heard it supports circulation, sharpens memory, or improves skin and hair. And to be fair, vitamin E can be beneficial in small, controlled doses. But here's what almost nobody tells, especially if you're over 60. In large doses. Vitamin E becomes a blood thinner, and when it's mixed with common heart medications, like aspirin, Plavix, or warfarin, which millions of older adults take every day, can make your blood so thin that it cannot clot when needed. What does that mean in real life? It means that a small, invisible blood vessel in your brain could rupture, and the bleeding doesn't stop. That's called a hemorrhagic stroke. I want to tell you about someone who still lives in my memory, Mrs. Evelyn Brooks. She was 81, a retired librarian from Ohio. Bright, funny, always carrying a book. She was on warfarin, a common blood thinner for a heart valve issue. Her doctors monitored her closely. Her blood pressure was steady. Her lab results looked perfect. Then one day, while flipping through a magazine, she saw an ad for natural vitamin E 800 IU per pill. I thought it would help my memory, she told me later. So she bought it, took it every morning. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the ER. Confusion, vomiting, a pounding headache. A CT scan showed bleeding in her brain. No trauma, no fall. Just a slow, silent leak inside her skull, caused by blood that had become too thin. Her clotting ability had dropped dangerously low, and the combination of vitamin E with warfarin had pushed her brain past its breaking point. She survived, but she was never the same. Her memory, once so sharp, was dulled. She now uses a cane to walk. Her independence gone. I remember her words. She sat across from me, tears in her eyes, and said, "I only wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was hurting myself. That's what breaks my heart." The truth is, most people think if it's a vitamin, it must be safe. But that isn't always true, especially when your body is changing with age, and especially if you're on medications that already thin your blood. What most don't know is this: vitamin E, at high doses, acts like a natural anticoagulant. It slows down clotting. That's why it's riskiest, especially for those taking aspirin, Plavix, warfarin, or other heart or blood pressure meds. Add vitamin E on top, and you risk bleeding inside the brain. And in the brain, even a small bleed can change everything. Your ability to speak, to move, to remember, to live independently. The safe recommended dose for seniors, just 15 milligrams per day, or about 22 IU. But check the bottles at your local store. 200, 400, 1000 IU per pill is common. And many people take one a day for years, never realizing how much they're getting. If you're taking vitamin E's, especially with heart medication, please speak to your doctor. Don't wait for symptoms. Don't assume it's safe just because it's natural. Evelyn isn't alone. She's one of thousands, maybe millions, who believe in their hearts that they're doing the right thing. But without guidance, even something healthy can turn harmful. Now, if the thought of a brain bleed wasn't unsettling enough, let me share something even more deceptive. There's another vitamin 1 sold for energy, nerve support, and mental clarity. It promises to help aging nerves, but when taken in high doses, it can quietly and permanently damage the very nerves it claims to protect. Let's talk about vitamin B6. You might know it as the brain booster or the nerve helper. You've probably seen it on bottles, promising better focus, improved energy, sharper memory, and healthier aging nerves. Some people even take it to help with tingling hands or numb feet. But what most seniors never hear is this: too much vitamin B6 can actually harm your nerves. And the damage, Sometimes it's permanent. Let me introduce you to Mr. Harold Jenkins, a 76-year-old retired truck driver from Kansas. A proud man, sharp-witted, tough, from years of hauling long-distance routes, day and night. When he came into my office, he was struggling with something he couldn't explain. He told me, "Doc, I just don't feel steady anymore." His balance was off. He stumbled when walking, especially in the dark. His hands tingled. His feet felt like they were buzzing. He thought it was just age, maybe a bit of arthritis, something minor, but then he started falling. Once in the shower, once getting into his car, the third time, he hit his head on the bathroom tile. That's when he knew something was wrong. I asked about his medications and supplements. He reached into his bag and pulled out a bottle labeled nerve support. It was something he ordered online, marketed for memory, energy, and circulation. The label seemed innocent, but inside each tablet, taking 2 per day. That's 200 milligrams. 10 times more than the upper safe limit for older adults. And here's the part most people don't realize. Unlike some vitamins that flush out easily, B6 accumulates in the body over time. It stores in your tissues, including the sheaths that protect your nerves. Think of it like insulation around electrical wires. When that insulation breaks down, the nerves misfire. They get confused. They send the wrong signals, or none at all. Numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, loss of coordination, trembling hands, brain fog, even misdiagnosed dementia. This happens slowly over months or even years. Most people think it's just aging, but it's not always. Sometimes it's vitamin B6 toxicity. Mr. Jenkins had no idea. He thought he was helping himself. The supplement said it was brain safe. Doctor proved, but it was silently poisoning his nerves. Thankfully, we caught it in time. The damage didn't get worse once he stopped. But the injury's already done. They didn't fully reverse. He still walks with a cane. He can no longer drive. "I just wanted to protect my brain," he told me once, staring at the floor. "But I was hurting it without even knowing." And that's the lesson here. Vitamin B6 is essential, but only in small amounts. The daily requirement for seniors is around 2 to 10 milligrams. And that includes the amount you already get from food like bananas, potatoes, chicken, or fortified cereal. You don't need 50, 100, or 200 milligrams from a pill. That's not helpful. That's harmful. But here's the kicker. If you walk through any supplement aisle or look online, you'll see brain support or nerve repair supplements boasting huge doses of B6 often, combined with B12 and other energizers. It sounds impressive, even trustworthy, but those megadoses, taken daily, can quietly wear down your nervous system. If you or someone you love is taking a supplement labeled for energy, nerves, or brain clarity, check the label right now. Look for pyridoxine hydrochloride, that's vitamin B6, and check the dosage. If you've taken one of those products or know someone who has, type B6 in the comments. This isn't just a conversation, it's a warning that could spare someone years of confusion, imbalance. Or worse, just because something says it's for your nerves doesn't mean it's safe for your nerves. By now, you might be thinking, surely something as basic as vitamin is something we've all taken since childhood must be safe. But that's what we're going to talk about next, and I promise it might be the most surprising of them all. Let's talk about vitamin A. If you're like most older adults, you've probably heard for decades that vitamin A is essential for healthy vision. Maybe you've taken it in the form of a multivitamin, or as a supplement for your skin, immune system, or even for anti-aging. After all, what could be more harmless than a vitamin that's good for your eyes, right? Over 60 is that vitamin A, when taken in excess, doesn't simply leave your body like water-soluble vitamins do. It builds up. It stores itself inside your fat, your liver, and yes, even in your brain. Over time, it can raise the pressure inside your skull, confuse your vision, cause headaches, and mimic the signs of a stroke. This isn't just theory. Let me tell you about Miss Dorothy Simmons, a 79-year-old piano teacher from Oregon. A graceful woman, loved music, taught children from her cozy living room, independent, full of life. She had always been conscious of her health and appearance. She took a vitamin for her skin and vision. It was marketed for eye clarity and healthy aging. She took 1 capsule a day for over 5 years. It never occurred to her that something so small, so ordinary, could have consequences. Then, It started subtle at first. Headaches that she chalked up to not drinking enough water. A little blurriness in her vision. A bit of lightheadedness now and then. She didn't mention it. She didn't think it was serious until one day she slurred her words while teaching a lesson. She stumbled walking to the kitchen. Her daughter rushed over, convinced it was a stroke. They brought her to the emergency room immediately, but the scan revealed something surprising. There was no clot, no hemorrhage. Her brain was under stress. The fluid in her spinal canal wasn't draining properly. Tiny veins in her brain were being pressed from within. The diagnosis, pseudotumor cerebri. That means false brain tumor. It feels and looks like a brain tumor or stroke, but it's caused by internal pressure, not by a growth. And the cause? Chronic vitamin A toxicity. Ms. Dot had been taking nearly 10,000 IU of vitamin A every day, thinking she was nourishing her eyes and skin. But over time, that fat-soluble vitamin didn't exit her body. It stored itself, layer upon layer, until her liver couldn't process it fast enough, and her brain felt the pressure. Here's the scary part. Vitamin A toxicity is sneaky. You don't feel sick, you don't look sick, until you start losing vision, or balance, or clarity of speech. And by then, the damage may already be underway. The truth is, older adults only need about 2,500 to 3,000 IU of vitamin A daily, and even that should be under medical guidance if supplementation is needed. Most people get more than enough through their diet: carrots, leafy greens, dairy, eggs. But when you take a multivitamin that already has vitamin A and you add a skin or eye supplement on top, it's easy to double or triple your intake without realizing it. And many over-the-counter products, especially those aimed at anti or eye health, contain 5,000 to 10,000 IU per pill. Miss Dot didn't know. No one warned her. She's getting better now, slowly, but she requires regular eye exams, blood pressure monitoring, and physical therapy to help her regain her balance. I thought I was helping my body, she told me during a follow-up appointment. Tears in her eyes. I didn't know I might be hurting my brain. That sentence has never left me. And that's why I'm sharing her story with you, not to frighten, but to inform. Because when you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your body doesn't process vitamins the way it used to. The liver slows, the kidneys slow. The systems that once filtered everything perfectly now need a little more care. So please, if you're taking vitamin A in any form, check your dosage. Look at your multivitamin, look at your skin or vision supplements, add up the numbers, and speak to your doctor if you're not sure. We're not done yet. Because the final vitamin we need to talk about, one often recommended for cholesterol and heart health, can do something shocking. It can actually raise your blood pressure even. Trigger a minute. And many seniors are taking it right now, completely unaware. Let's talk about vitamin B3, also known as niacin. You may have taken it before, or maybe you've been told it's good for your heart. It's often recommended to lower cholesterol, improve circulation, and protect against cardiovascular disease. You'll find it in heart-healthy supplements, energy drinks, cereals, and even in multivitamins. Some doctors even prescribe it in special forms. So how can something recommended for the heart possibly be dangerous, especially for seniors? Let me introduce you to Mr. Frank Miller, an 82-year-old retired postal worker from Florida, hardworking, gentle, a man of habit. Every morning, Frank woke up early, made a cup of coffee for his wife, and took his vitamins just like clockwork. He believed in taking care of his health. He avoided fast food, walked every day, and read health magazines regularly. Something strange started happening. He would wake up with a hot red face. His cheeks flushed like he was embarrassed or sunburned. His chest would thump like a hammer was inside it. Sometimes he felt dizzy, confused, like he was underwater. His wife thought maybe he was anxious. His son thought maybe his blood pressure meds were too strong. But no one thought to look at the supplement sitting next to the cereal box. It was labeled Heart Support, big bold letters. It said it supported cholesterol and blood circulation. On the back, it contained 1,000 milligrams of niacin per pill, and he was taking 2 pills a day. That's 2,000 milligrams of niacin every single day, over 60 times what the average senior needs. So what was really happening inside his body? People experience facial flushing, or a warm sensation. But shortly after, those same blood vessels can snap back and constrict. This bouncing back and forth puts a lot of pressure on your heart, raises your blood pressure, and can even restrict blood flow to the brain. That's exactly what happened to Frank. One morning, while talking to his wife, his speech suddenly slurred. He couldn't find his words. After 2 minutes, everything seemed normal again. He had just experienced a mini-stroke, also known as a transient ischemic attack. Opening parenthesis, TA closing parenthesis, Frank was lucky. He recovered quickly, no lasting damage. But what scared me most wasn't the stroke hit, was that it happened because of a supplement he believed was protecting his heart. He looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I really thought I was doing everything right. I had no idea I was gambling with my brain," and he wasn't alone. Many people think niacin is safe in large doses, especially if it says flush-free or slow release on the bottle. But those versions can also come with risks, especially for older adults. They can cause liver stress, alter blood sugar levels, trigger atrial fibrillation, and spike blood pressure unexpectedly. And here's something you should know. If you're over 60, taking more than 50 milligrams of niacin a day should only be done under direct supervision from your doctor. And yet, many heart supplements contain 500, 1,000, even 2,000 milligrams per serving. So please, if you're taking niacin for heart or cholesterol support, check the dosage. Read the fine print, especially if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart rhythm issues. Frank stopped taking the supplement that same day, and within a few weeks, the hot flashes, the pounding chest, the morning dizziness all gone. No more TIA symptoms. He's stable now, but he told me something I'll never forget. I thought the vitamins were my safety net, but I was using my brain like a test subject. And that brings us full circle. We've now talked about 5 common vitamins, D, E, B6A, and B3, that can quietly and dangerously backfire in older adults. Not because they're evil, not because vitamins are bad, but because our bodies change. And no one tells us that the rules of health change to dot, so now, you may be wondering if these popular vitamins can be risky. What's the alternative? What am I supposed to do to protect my brain, my heart, my energy? The answer may be simpler than you think. Let's talk about real food, the kind your body recognizes, the kind your brain craves. Let's talk about something that doesn't come in a bottle, a capsule, or a shiny package. Let's talk about real food. Because you might be wondering right now, if these vitamins are risky, what's left? What am I supposed to do? And that's a good question, an important one. But the answer isn't complicated. It's not expensive, and it's not new. You see, your body wasn't built to rely on synthetic pills, megadoses, or mysterious powders. Your brain, your nerves, your heart, your cells, they were all designed to run on nutrients from the earth. From real food, from simple, natural, recognizable ingredients, let me introduce you to someone who proves that beautifully. Mrs. Margaret Wilson. She's 73, a retired school principal from Arizona. A strong, no-nonsense woman who had spent her life teaching children, organizing parent-teacher meetings, running classrooms. When I first met her, she pulled out a drawer full of pills, dozens, every color and shape, a B-complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, vitamin D for bones, vitamin E for her heart, a multivitamin, a brain support capsule, an eye health blend, a joint formula. She looked at me with honest confusion and said, "Doctor, I'm doing everything right." Right? But something wasn't right. She had been waking up with dizziness, sometimes vertigo. Her blood pressure was creeping higher. She felt foggy in the mornings. Slower, the numbers didn't make sense. She wasn't smoking. She was walking every day. She was eating fine, or so it seemed, so we tried something bold. We emptied the drawer, not all at once, carefully, thoughtfully, one by one. We removed the supplements, and in their place, we gave her food. Whole food, clean, complete meals. Nothing fancy, no celebrity. Diet, no subscription box, just real meals at the right time, with the right balance. Here's what she had for breakfast: a glass of room temperature water to rehydrate the brain after a night's rest. The brain is 75% water. Even mild dehydration can impair memory balance and energy. A half avocado rich in healthy fats that feed the brain and keep blood vessels flexible. A slice of whole grain toast complex carbs that provide steady energy. Without sugar crashes, a handful of blueberries, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation and protect brain cells. 1 boiled egg, clean, complete protein that supports neurotransmitter function and muscle strength. Some mornings, she added a few almonds or walnuts, natural sources of vitamin E, omega-3 south, and magnesium. No powders, no synthetic mixes. No promises in a bottle, just food. And in 3 weeks, Margaret noticed a change. The dizziness faded. Her mornings felt clearer. Her blood pressure returned to normal. Her thoughts were sharper. She even said she felt like she woke up from a fog she didn't know she was in. And this is why. Because your brain doesn't need megadoses. It doesn't need extra strength. It needs balance. Leafy greens like kale and spinach full of folate and natural antioxidants that repair damage and support memory. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are the building blocks of brain cells. Berries, packed with polyphenols that reduce inflammation and slow aging in the brain. Nuts and seeds loaded with vitamin E. Healthy fats, magnesium, and selenium that support nerve function. Whole grains, brown rice, oats, quinoa steady your blood sugar and improve circulation to your brain. This food doesn't just support your brain, it supports your bones, your joints, your energy, your immune system, your heart. It works together like an orchestra, not a one-man band. Each bite is a vote for healing. So if you're sitting there, maybe feeling overwhelmed by all the risks we've talked about, today, breathe, because you have power, and it starts with awareness. The truth is, at 60, 70, or 80, your body doesn't process things the way it used to. The liver is slower, the kidneys are more sensitive, the blood vessels are more delicate. What worked at 30 doesn't always work now, and that's okay, because the best medicine isn't a miracle pill, it's understanding. Vitamins can be helpful, but they must be respected, not feared, but not taken blindly either. Read the labels, know the dosages, know what interacts with what. Talk to your doctor. Pay attention to how you feel. Your body whispers before it screams. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to ask you something. What's one change you'll make starting tomorrow? Is it checking your supplement dosages? Switching your vitamin D to the morning? Choosing blueberries over brain pills? Drinking a glass of water first thing instead of grabbing a tablet? Let me know in the comments. Your action might inspire someone else. And if this message resonated with you, if it helped you or made you think, please like this video, not for me, but so that others can find it too. And subscribe to Senior Health Be the end of your journey. This is the beginning. Together, we'll learn, grow, and stay strong. If you're watching right now, just know this. You are not alone. You've got this, and we've got each other. Because the most powerful medicine is knowing the truth and using it to protect your future.